Okay, students, we're going to be looking at some division today. Hopefully you've already learned how to do this with your class notes, but we'll go through a couple of problems. Make sure you know how to put this in DeltaMath. When you're dividing by x plus 1, remember that means you're looking for your 0 or your root. So your 0 or your root, that would make that equal to 0, is negative 1. So I would have a x equals negative 1. And then I'd do my coefficients, which are 3, 10, 3, negative 4. Bring down your first number, then multiply what's on the bottom by what's in the box. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Add is a 7. Multiply negative 7. Add is a negative 4. Multiply is a positive 4. Add is a 0. This last number, of course, is our remainder, and a remainder of 0 means x plus 1 does divide evenly and is a factor. And then my other factor, we'll go ahead and type in there. So it is 3x to the third, because it started as x to the third, but since I divided out an x, it's going to be x squared. So I can use my keypad and get my x squared. And then I have a, let's see, a 7 down at the bottom, so plus 7x. And then it was a minus 4, so that's a minus 4. So if the number's negative, it'll be a minus. If the number's positive, it'll be a plus. And just your exponents all kind of go down by 1. So x to the third became x squared became x, and an x became a plain number, was no remainder. If you submit that, it should be correct. And we'll go ahead and try another one of these. Okay, this problem looks ugly, but all they're really telling you to do with this is they're basically saying to write your remainder as a fraction. So if x minus 4 is equal to 0, that means my 0 for this problem is x equals 4. My coefficients are 3, negative 8, negative 22, and positive 14. Bring down my 3, then multiply what's on the bottom by the number in front, 4. Multiply is 12, add it together is negative 10, multiply is negative 40, add is negative 26. Now you might not like the fact we do not have a 0 there. That just means I have a remainder. So let's go ahead and try typing this in. I start with 3, and it's going to be an x squared. You can do shift 6 to get an exponent as well as using your keypad there. So shift 6 will make an exponent. Then you have plus 4x, a minus 10. And then since this is a negative, for my remainder, I'll do a minus 26 over, and I make my remainder a fraction. So it's a negative 26 over what I divide by. Since I divided by x minus 4, it's over x minus 4. Once again, this x minus 4 comes in from right there, and that becomes your denominator. And once again, if the remainder was positive, it'd be a plus 26, but since it's negative, it's a minus 26, and that should be your correct answer. You also have some greatest common factor problems. Remember, greatest common factor is just something that divides out of every term. So in this term, you should notice they both have an x to the third, so I can divide them both by x to the third. The way you'll type this in DeltaMath is you'll type your x to the third out in front. So x, if I'm using my keypad, I use my A to the B button. If I do that, it gives me up in the exponent that. Shift 6 would do the same thing. Once you're done with the exponent, notice you can either tap over or use your arrow key to get out of the exponent. And now I can make my parenthesis. And then in the parentheses is going to be what I get after I divide by x to the third. So that will give me a 6. And if I have 5 x's and I divide out 3, that'll leave 2 left. So 6x squared. And then x to the third divided by x to the third is 1. So that should be a minus 1 on the end. And that is your answer. We'll try one more of these if we have time. On this one, if you start with a negative number, it's a great idea to go ahead and divide out that negative number. So when I'm dividing this out, I'm going to divide by a negative, let's see, I believe 8 will go into both of those. So negative 8x is what I'm going to divide by. So I will write my negative 8x in front. Open my parenthesis. Negative divided by negative is a positive 9 and x to the fourth, because when I take out one x, there's 4 left. And then a positive divided by negative is a negative 8, and the x cancels. And that should be your correct answer. Hope this helps you. Let me know if you have any questions.